Our next speaker is Amy Cotteleer, and she is going to be speaking to us about how to harness the power of content creation to drive growth for brand social media accounts. Amy, welcome to the stage.
Thank you. Hi. I've never worn a mic like this before. It's a cross between feeling like I'm in Wicked and Britney Spears. So hopefully it does not fall off my face halfway through the presentation. I also have this really cool monitor down here that I'm really excited about. Oh, and you have it up there. Hi, I'm Amy Cotteleer. I am a partner and the Chief Experience Officer at Duncan, Channon. We have offices in, I almost said New York, not New York, San Francisco and Los Angeles. We are a full-service, integrated creative agency. And when we say full service, we mean full service, as you can see by all of the services behind me. But it is my job to run the experiential, social, and influencer practice, which is why I'm here today. And I keep on hearing that person, who's also in the room with us today. So we only have 20 minutes. And inevitably, someone's going to have to take a phone call or go to the bathroom or find me to be boring and want to leave. All of those things are perfectly good reasons. But while I have you here now, all focused, I want to tell you what this presentation is about. So if you leave with one piece of information, I want it to be this. Shout out to 90 Day Fiancé, if you're a fan. Here's what I want you to know. If your brand hasn't shifted to prioritize short-form video in your social strategy, you have already lost. The speed of culture that we love to talk about at things like this has passed you by. And that could sound harsh, or it could sound like I'm trying to be provocative, but it's the truth. However, there is a solution. And the solution is you need to be using UGC content creators in your social strategy. And if you have, I think now maybe 17 and a half more minutes left, I will prove it to you. You cannot talk about the dominance of short-form video without talking about the rise, especially amongst Gen Z, without talking about the rise of TikTok. TikTok, in its current iteration, launched in August of 2018. By October of 2018, 2 months later, it was outperforming Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, what was Twitter, in downloads. Last year was the #1 app on the iPhone, and this year, notwithstanding the shenanigans of Congress, it's on pace to be again. The For You page. The hallmark of TikTok is short-form video, anywhere from 15 to 60 seconds long. And the For You page algorithm, which is highly addictive if you've spent any time on the app, feeds you content from creators you might not be following, which really expands discovery. This means, this sort of algorithm-driven approach means that if your content's creative or it's engaging, it's going to be sent to a wide audience and it's going to be sent fast, which drives up engagement rates, meaning more time spent on TikTok. How much time, you ask? A lot more time. More people are on TikTok than any other social media app. And in 2022, that translated into 95 minutes a day. Feels like more when dealing with my daughter, but on average, 95 minutes a day. That's 4 times more than Snapchat. That's 3 times more than X. That's double Instagram. And the user base just continues to grow. Some of you might be saying or thinking, this is really, really interesting. She's super cool. But we're not on TikTok, so she's clearly not talking to me. And I have 2 things to say to you. 1, everyone needs to be on TikTok as long as it's around. Full stop. I can talk to you afterwards if you want. And 2, do you really think that all these social media platforms are going to be like, cool, 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 take our customers, no problem? No. The unseemingly unstoppable growth of TikTok made every other social media platform pivot. YouTube, Shorts, Snapchat, Spotlight, and Instagram Reels, which is a TikTok clone that, much to the chagrin of its users, basically changed the way the app was accessible almost overnight. This means that every social, and this is kind of like mind-blowing to me, every social media app requires you to post video, either some or all of the time, if you want to be prioritized in their algorithm, if you want to be seen by the people you're trying to talk to. How much video? Well, in January of 2023, if you can see that, in January 2023, brands that are doing the work already, posting on these platforms, reported that they were, on average, posting 16.55 videos a month on TikTok, which kind of means somebody fell asleep during the last download, and 9.44 on Instagram. That's about 25 to 26 videos a month, or 5 a week. It's a lot of videos. You're going to need a lot of videos. You're going to need a lot of good videos. You're going to need a lot of good videos that are engaging. And that used to mean that you were also going to need a lot of resources, both human and financial, because the old school way of producing content took a really long time and cost a lot of money and passed through many hands. And the kicker is that this, what ended up being produced, this beautiful content, when posted onto social, sticks out like a sore thumb because users are trained to reject it because it looks too polished, or it's too salesy, or worse, it's not native to the platform, which is the kiss of death for engagement and virtually guarantees that you will not be prioritized in anyone's For You page. So, what's to be done? The answer is UGC content creators. They're affordable, a word that marketers, we don't throw around a lot. They're affordable, they're fast, they work on their own. What else? Their user base, the size doesn't matter. But my favorite thing, the thing that I think is oftentimes overlooked, is you own the content. There's no negotiating for additional rights or usage or clawback. You own it. And you can use it across all of your marketing channels, both on and offline. So, we're working with influencers, Amy. Isn't that the same thing? No, it's not. And I've heard it today, actually, interchangeably, the words, and we should stop, because we're actually talking about two distinct people or groups. Influencers, we all know who they are, typically significant audiences who promote products through their personal channels and their personal social pages, right? UGC creators, they create content that is UGC inspired, that primarily showcases a brand's product in a relatable and authentic way that, once again, you own and you can put on your channels. Influencers, creators, tomato, isn't good content good content? If I have good content and I put it up, isn't it going to do something? Not in the eyes of the people you're trying to sell to. In a recent study by Stack LA, consumers said that they felt that UGC content resonated with them most authentically. Almost 80% said that UGC content highly impacted their purchasing decision. That's 8.7 times more impactful than influencer content and 6.7 times more impactful than branded content in the eyes of the consumer. So where do we find these magical people who are going to save our social strategy? Well, at this point, you could throw a rock and hit a content creator. By a show of hands, how many people in this room either create content or consider themselves to be content creators? Thank God that worked. Okay, that's a lot of people. You know why? Because 200 million people made some sort of a living creating content in 2023. That's up from 50 million people in 2021, just 2 years ago. That's an increase of 314%. At this rate, there will be more content creators than not content creators alive. Now, I'm not advocating throwing rocks at content creators for a couple of reasons. One, it's not very nice. And two, there are easier ways to find them. A couple you have to pay a fee for, but a lot are free and work just as well. On the paid side, there's an entire industry, as we all know, that has cropped up to support the content creator community. Upfluence, Incense, Creator IQ. We use Tagger. You can use them for just finding names, or you can use them to help you manage your whole program. But let's talk about the free options. So Fiverr and Upwork. You can go, you can find them, you can contract them directly. But my favorite thing to do is to go to the apps themselves and use them as a tool. And then, when you find someone you like, you slip into their DMs. For real. Thanks. This gets overlooked as a tool, and it's my favorite tool, so like a little bit of a hack. You go, you type in the words, UGC, content creator, and then the industry you're in, and thousands of names are going to come up for you because these people have optimized their page because they want you to come look for them. And so you're not going to have a problem finding content creators. What you're going to have a problem is figuring out which ones to work with and why. And so when we start our search for our clients, we put together a list of things that we know we're looking for. And that changes from project to project, but two things always go on the list. Do they have a strong creative portfolio? Some content creators are savvy at this point, and they have standalone websites. You can go and you can see all of their work and who they've worked for and their terms, and it's very easy. Or you just go to their page and see if their stuff is resonating with you. And if it is, slide into their DMs. The other thing, and this is super important, are they easy to work with? When you reach out, do they get back to you? Do they get back to you in a timely manner? Do they ghost you? Do they ghost you and then come back and then ghost you? Do they ask good questions? Are they answering your questions? Because the way that they're acting on day one is the way that they're going to be on day 1,000, and there are enough people to choose from that you need to move on. Your content is only going to be as good as your creator brief. And I almost didn't put this in here because it feels like a little 101, but we work with a lot of creators, and they get so excited when we give them briefs because they're like, we never get this information, thank you so much. A creator brief is a roadmap to successful campaign. It's a guideline, the guidelines between a creator and a brand, and lets everybody know what to expect and when to expect it. Content disasters happen when a brand doesn't communicate with a creator on what their expectations are and leaves it up to a creator to figure it out on their own. But you got to remember, these are people. They're not agencies. We're not RFPing them. Short, simple, concise. Keep communication open so you can tweak. But generally speaking, this is what we put on our briefs. See, somebody left. Is it me? He's on the phone. He's on the phone. It's not me. Okay. Front row, too. That's rough. Okay. All right. I became a UGC content creator evangelist because of our work with innovation. So in 2020, innovation came to us. I was like, what is this thing? It's the mic. They came to us in 2020, and they said, can you help us with our social strategy? He's back. Welcome back. I know. It happens. So 2020 came to us, and they said, can you help us with our social strategy? And we said, sure. And up until that point, their social strategy was they had 100 followers, and they posted 2 types of content. They posted stock imagery of Asian food, so yummy orange chicken, just not theirs, and digital assets for YouTube, so not even optimized for Instagram. And we were like, look, we're going to need a couple more bucks. And we took those dollars, and we created brand-owned imagery, beautiful lay-down shots that really featured the food, and we did some on and off channel influencer work, and right away, as soon as we started posting this stuff, we got a response. Engagement was up, And we had some slow but steady follower growth. And then, this went on for a couple of years. And then in 2023, we found ourselves, 2022, 2023, on the wrong side of the algorithm because we didn't have video. We really couldn't afford video. And this slowdown was coincided with the client calling us up and saying, hey, we really want to supercharge social, but we don't have a lot more money to give you. So what are you going to do? And we thought about it, and we looked around the room, and we were like, we got to use UGC creators. We've got to somehow figure out how to get video in our marketing mix. So we did. I have not tested these videos, so we're going to do it together. Before we selected our content creators, we did social listening to figure out the type of content that the people who were already following us were engaging with. And then we took that list and we narrowed it down to trends that we thought we could participate in because it was along with our niche, which was frozen Asian food. And we landed on 3 main categories that became our content pillars that all of our filmed UGC laddered up to. And you can see them here. The first one, we're called satisfying, but basically it's food porn. It's that really sexy cheese pull kind of videos that people seem to love. ASMR, which personally drives me crazy, but is one of the biggest trends out there. And then 15 seconds or less. So really quick hit videos that are over before you can leave. So engagement is really high. And I'm going to show you examples, hopefully. Satisfying. No. No? Should I go back? Is there any way to make those things play? Oh, is it a PDF? Is that what happened here? It's a buzzkill? So, no? No. Okay. So if it worked, we can drive engagement right now after this presentation. Go to innovation and look. But if you were to see these, you would see some really beautiful imagery of that first one, of the satisfying, where the food looks just incredible. And you really are like, I kind of want that for dinner tonight. And then ASMR is exactly what it sounds like. You get the package out, you get the oil in the thing, you get the rice, you get the thing. And it really draws you in, especially if you like ASMR. And then the 15 seconds or less, or like I said, it's really beautiful food, really fast, that makes you pretty hungry. The point that I want to make about the creators, and I like to use the ASMR example, is that we didn't go and look for food ASMR content creators. We looked for the best content creators who made ASMR. And then we said, could you feature our food? And so we're using best-in-class creators to help us tell our story. And I wish I could show you this, because one of these videos, and I can't remember which one, cost like $100 to make. Or, we paid $100 for it, which for video is incredible. So we took those, and we combined it with the stuff that we're still doing. We're still doing off-channel influencer giveaways. We're still on-channel. We're still strategic boosting, photo shoots, content creator. But it was this addition of video that, honest to goodness, supercharged. And the working with user-generated content, or UGC creators, supercharged our results. And you can see those little video things, that's the ratio. We're posting almost all videos, and when we're posting images, like here, it's always in a carousel. So no longer are just single images being posted on our reel. 3 times higher content output when focused on UGC video. What that translates to is when we said to the client, hey, we want to work with creators, we want to create some video, we're going to use the same budget, we think we can get you 20 pieces of content this year. We got them 70 without increasing our budget. 70 videos for the same amount of money for what we were doing with the photo shoots. That resulted in an 853% increase in the engagement of Instagram year over year, a 324% increase in followers. The only change we made was we added video, and a really invigorated audience. And what that means is they're engaging with us, and as I've been saying, more engagement, you're prioritized more in the algorithm, more people are finding us, and the cycle continues, and we continue to grow. And we launched on TikTok this year. That's it. Thank you. Anybody have any questions?
Hi, Amy.
Hi.
I love the talk. My name is Julia.
Hi.
I'm doing a lot of research right now for a beauty client that I'm working with, and all the competitors, including our own, they have wonderful communities. They have huge engagement, but whenever they post UGC to their channels, I've noticed there's a very large drop-off in that engagement for some reason on brand channels, and this is almost every brand in this, what I dubbed the Sephora-verse. Do you have any thoughts there? Is it like what? Like I don't know. I'm just really curious. Like UGC performs so well, but when a brand does it, it's like
When a beauty brand does it?
almost, yeah. When a beauty brand posts UGC, it does not perform in the same capacity than when they post a random piece of like product porn, or when they post their own brand like weird CGI made content. And I've researched about 30 brands in the last week, and I've noticed the same. I know I'm crazy. I still have like 15 more to go. I've noticed the same exact massive drop off in engagement for the most part, especially on Instagram. TikTok, not as bad, but fairly severe. I mean,
Well,
yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's
Well,
like a
no, I
hard
mean, I
question
don't know
to
if I have
ask
a-
and answer, but
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if I have a total answer. A lot of my work has been based in beauty. Most of my clients are beauty clients. What you're saying is opposite of what I've experienced, and so I'm wondering if the UGC, because UGC, influencers, and I would think UGC content creators are very blurry in the beauty industry because one, it's been around forever as far as a tool, like that beauty has embraced that kind of relationship with influencers first and foremost. What is that noise? Is it me? Oh, it's the radiator. So New York. So that's the first thing, is maybe it just smells of influencer even when it's not. But I'm really, really surprised to hear that, and maybe it's just the type of content that the UGC creators are putting out. If it's mirroring an influencer's work, then it is an influencer, you know? I mean, like, at least to the untrained eye.
on their channels it's performing totally fine, like on the random UGC people or
Yeah.
influencer. When it makes it to the brand accounts, like let's say a brand video will have like 30,000 views, and then this random person that no one knows has like 9,000 views, and then they post a picture of a random product, and it's not even a launch, and everyone loses their mind and gets 40,000 likes, and I'm like, why is it like this across
Yeah.
almost everyone?
I'm really surprised. I would love to talk afterwards.
Yeah,
to
no,
kind
sorry,
of
I'm so
understand.
sorry. I didn't mean to like
because
hijack.
I got nothing. Awesome. Well, who else has a question I can't answer? You, sir. Okay.
Yeah, hey, my name is Jacob. I'm the founder and CEO of Social for the Win. Also, UGC, social strategy, brand consulting. A lot of it resonated with me. I used to work at TikTok, and I'm also one of the creators.
Oh, right on.
Excel Daddy, check me out. Not kidding. But yeah, no, so one of the things that I think a lot about is UGC rights and usage
Yeah.
rights. I know you mentioned that you have ownership basically in perpetuity. I feel like when it comes to creator first or creator focused content within the UG space, that's like still a big thing, owning content forever. And I noticed with SAG, like the biggest issue, right, and why the strikes happened was because of that AI content, utilizing people's faces whenever, wherever, without paying them. How do you see that adjusting within the UGC space and ownership rights being kind of negotiated ahead of time,
Yeah.
given the fact that people probably shouldn't be using the same content 5, 10, 15 years in the future?
I think that, fortunately for brands, that is the benefit, and I think the benefit is here to stay in the short, even long term, because I think that, you know, UGC creators, I know we have had the experience, and I suspect it just makes sense that a UGC creator at some point might fancy themselves an influencer. And when they, you know, walk that path, at some point, their content is going to get to a place where they will want to have, you know, rights and negotiate usage and be able to claw back ownership. But the beauty of UGC and why so many people, 200 million people, are jumping into the game is because they don't really care about that. You know, I mean, at the beginning, and you're making a face, no one can see it, but he's like, bullshit. But truly, if people are, you know, out there trying to do a side hustle and it means filming a frothing cup of coffee and it's going to get them paid $100, they're happy to make that piece of, you know, content pass it off to a brand and be done with it. I mean, if you're talking about use of your face, then I guess that's something else. And again, that moves more into influencer territory. But here we're just talking, not that, but we're talking about like the food porn stuff where it's like, can you really, at the end of the day, make a case to own that? Yeah. And that's what really primarily I'm talking about. Awesome. Thank you. So, we have one more question? No? This woman? Unless it's one I can't answer.
I work for Cubica AMF. We do bowling, and I work on the side with the center owners that are very outdated at times. Is there a good, strong talking point to not turn them off quickly from UGC? Because when they hear UGC, they're like, "Oh, that's going to be expensive."
That it's
not.
not.
They're barely making it, and that it's not.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, like
basically the
honestly,
best objection.
it's the proof is in the pudding, really. Did you say bowling centers?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Like, it's not expensive.
Okay.
And there's so many people. If you were to, right now, if you go to your phone and say UGC content creator bowlers, like 1,000 are gonna come up and somebody's gonna make content for you very reasonably. And that is literally the beauty of the I don't know the word I'm looking for, the avenue.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.